up, y'all? Whoo! Yeah. Sorry. Look, so I was kind of thinking, you know, man, I think a lot about biology. I do. I think about it a lot because, I mean, more specifically, Darwinism, theory of evolution and survival of the fittest. And I mean, I can't help it, dude. That, to me, has given us more traction in understanding, like, the natural processes of, like, nature. At least life, you know what I mean? To me, it gives us a sense of progress. Because, you can look at thermodynamics, how you can watch like something explode on video, but if you put it in reverse, like, it's obviously backwards. So there's that type of, the what do they call that? The thermal death or whatever. So you got shit like that, okay? But at the same time, you have life. And life has a certain progression. It is not just like, it has a certain progression. And, for instance, if we kind of look at the fossil record on Earth, at least, and that's not even considering how many, like, gazillion stars there are in our galaxy that could have planets, and then the billions of galaxies, oh my God, like, there has to be life somewhere else. The DNA structure, I mean, there could be other ways that it works that we just don't know about yet, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be DNA, it doesn't have to be nucleotides, it could be other stuff. But, I think about this, and it does have a specific progress. It's survival of the fittest. It is... like I said, if we look at the fossil record on Earth, alone, we can see the evolution from, like, microorganisms and, prokaryotes into the eukaryotic organisms and multicellular, plants and animals and all that good stuff. And that is through the mechanism of survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? It's so almost, I don't know. It almost seems like it's just obvious. One of those things that we might take for granted, but it gives us so much traction in understanding this progress of life. And I'm telling you. So for whatever reason, becoming eukaryotic, which basically just means you have a cell nucleus, or some shit like that. That was advantageous. Because otherwise, motherfuckers would not have lived. What the fuck is this dude staring at me for? This motherfucker is straight up looks like a monkey staring at me like he's retarded. I'm sorry. That one was too interrupting to ignore. There was another guy earlier who was staring at me, but I just ignored it. That guy was straight up like bubble gum. Jaw like drooling out of his mouth, dude. Are you kidding me? Tripping. Sorry. So see, I could even relate that to survival of the fittest, mankind, certain people, really smart people have, created these systems that allow us to live, and we don't have to be in nature. That guy, Bubba Gump looking dude, he'd have probably been dead out in the wilderness, man. He could not, something would have happened, he'd have been dead by the time he was like 13, but no, he's over here driving a car, you know what I mean? And intelligent motherfuckers have made life easy for humans especially. not all humans. There's different places in the world and different stuff. He just happens to be born in America, where a certain standard of living, blah blah blah. But anyway, for whatever reason, being eukaryotic was advantageous because it obviously passed on its genes and da 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 da. I mean, we know that. We know that. It's not even like a question. And also there was prokaryotes that still are living, so I mean that obviously worked too. But whatever mutation it was, or maybe a gene combination or whatever that begot eukaryotic, cells, it worked. And then it worked enough to continue. And then so on and so forth. And so it's basically the survival of the fittest. It keeps going and going and going and going. And it eventually has begotten us. And what are we? We are multicellular organisms, and we even have intelligence. We have intelligence to the point that we're out here like thinking about this type of stuff. We're like doing all types of experiments. We're going up into the genes and doing stuff, and we're out here like changing the whole landscape. We're domesticating animals and plants. Dude, we're doing it all. Like biology, as far as we know, begot us. And it's like, dude. To me, it's so freaking, it's not just fascinating, it's also the fact that just understanding survival of the fittest gives us so much traction. It's like the name of the game, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just what it is. And like the more we understand that, the better I think. I mean, I just love it. I love to keep thinking about it because it's relative to everything. It relates. It's relevant to everything. So I mean, for instance, the eukaryotic cells. That could have been a mutation. It could have been some weird, like it probably was a mutation. And next thing you know, boom, you got some. It could have been like an injury to a cell that like made something happen, and mutation, whatever. And the cell started operating different, but it still worked. And then when it, divided, mitosis, whatever, boom, it's still working. And, so on and so forth. And so, as far as we know, the theory of evolution kind of depends on mutations, and the recombination of, you have meiosis, which kind of, that's with us at least, and a lot of animals. I don't know, there's different types of stuff that happens in the cell. Either way, it's fucking amazing. You know why it's amazing? Because the cell is just a bunch of atoms and molecules floating in some goo, which is also atoms and molecules. But somehow it gave rise to us. It's like, what the fuck? How is that even possible? That's mind blowing. That my body is, we know, we understand chemistry. We can do some random fucking chemical experiments. We understand how it works. But my body, my living organism, with every single cell, is just chemistry. I'm like, what? So I'm alive, but I got this fucking, but all I am are these like just chemical processes. It's fucking insane. Like, as far as we can tell, there's individual cells don't have intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Individual cells are just like these, they're kind of just set up to, they're like, gradients of chemical tension a little bit, you know what I mean, like, and it just keeps going and going. And so like life is basically like, it's almost like fire, which is like a chain reaction, but it's kind of like a little bit more, it's like, instead of being destructive, it builds. But at the end of the day, it's fucking chemical reactions, dude. It's like a chain reaction. Just keeps going and going and going and going. Life is like a fire, for real. Like, chemically speaking, it's being like a chain reaction type thing. It just keeps going and going and going. The electrochemical gradients, or whatever you want to call it, boom, it just keeps going and going and going. And I am just I'm existing because of that. Like, my organism is just, I'm part of this fire, you might say, and that is fucking remarkable. That's fucking extremely fucking remarkable. That's like, whoa. Thank you. See, and we have the capacity to understand this, which is even more interesting. And you know, it makes me fucking think, man. It's like this seems to be, you know, first I have to consider the fact that we're even in this like realm, okay? We're in this universe with these laws of physics that allow biology to work like it does. Okay. And that's like, okay, well, like all of this didn't have to exist, but it does. So it's like, whoa. And that's not like a stoner thought. That's just like a real, whoa. Like, the question always arises. Where did this come from? And it really does. It really does. You know, our civilization with all the fucking epic dramas and fucking culture and this and that, everything, inventions, whatever you want to call it, every little drama has everything to do with this, what I'm talking about. In fact, it's just a very small part of this, what I'm talking about. And I mean, I can't think of anything more epic to do than try to like figure out where it all came from. I'm telling you. And like I said, the survival of the fittest gives us so much traction, dude. It's like I already kind of just went through the steps to kind of get us to this point. But I mean, dude, I exist because of electrochemical gradients in some weird arrangement. You know, atoms doing fucking chemistry and shit. How the fuck does this, how does that, I mean, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in a mind-blowing way. I'm saying, how is that even possible? And if you answer that question, it's because this realm exists. And, you know, so the question really comes, where did this come from? It's so fucking, it's deep as hell. And, you know, we can look at our own personal behavior and how we're personally evolving. It's like, you know, we evolve, you know, what we do matters, you know what I mean? It's going to play a part, but still, I just want to know how the fuck this even got here. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, think about what could happen. There's so many possibilities. The possibilities are endless. We can go crazy if we think about it. So I kind of just want to be in awe, you know? I can enjoy life like that, you know? And, you know, I guess on like another angle of looking at this, we can consider how what we're doing in our species regarding survival of the fittest. Who survives? Those that make babies. Okay, so who makes babies? Usually beautiful people. Anybody who survives, who's intelligent enough not to die. Anybody that's healthy, doesn't have a disease, you know, and doesn't die. Beautiful people, I already said that. Healthy. Maybe you got to be rich and intelligent enough to get money. And I mean, there's a lot to it. There's so many dynamics. But whoever makes babies, that's who survives. And then if their kids make babies, so on and so forth. I mean, we can go really far in that direction. I really just don't want to. I really just like the direction I already took, which was, how the heck did we get here? You know what I mean? Like, how did this get here? This realm that allows us to exist as we exist get here. You know what I mean? This whole freaking thing. And I mean, somehow, some way, whatever created us, you know, I guess it was in its, you know, plan to have us be intelligent and ponder such things. You know, consider that. And so here we are, pondering how the fuck we got here. And like, I feel like we're on the cusp of like really figuring that out. And I mean, to me, that is, because we got science, bro. Like, we already like did all science. We understand biology. We understand pretty much what I just said, chemistry and all that stuff. And we're on the cusp. We're like right there. The question arises. We're at the point, like, in understanding for real, like, the question is we logically arrive to is, how did this entire realm get here? You know, we can see how everything in it works pretty much. Not everything, but we're working on it. And you know, we're intelligent enough to ask these questions. And so to me, I'm like, that must have been part of the Creator's plan. You know what I'm saying? So even allow us to exist, much less, you know, allow us to grow into intelligence. You know what I mean? And here we are, pondering. It's just so freaking epic to me. It just really is. It's super freaking epic to me. So, that being said, that's where I'm at in my, like I said, I love to just, you know, follow the line of survival of the fittest. It gives us so much traction, dude. And also use whatever information science, you know, supplies us. And, you know, I feel like we're at a good time and we're learning right now. We're like rapidly learning, and it's freaking cool because I love learning. That being said, I guess I can leave it at that. And I don't know, I could add to this. I honestly could. I could talk about, you know, how life is getting more and more complex, you know, like who survives? Like I said, beautiful people. And is that following a certain pattern? What's our perception of beauty? What's our perception of health? You know, is that also like an innate thing, you know? What's up with music? Like, that's like frequencies and stuff. And like, there's certain frequencies that we just love that are harmonious. What's up with that? You know? Yeah, like I said, we can go a lot deeper. But, you know, I think I could leave it at that, to be honest. And, you see all that? That's beautiful shit. Like these telephone wires, somebody invented them. I have this phone because people invented intelligence, man. It's all part of the plan, dude. It is. We're doing science. We're figuring stuff out, dude. It's awesome. And it's awesome. I'm going to leave it at that. Because people don't know how to handle me. People don't know how to, like, you know, get on my level. I don't know if that's it, but everybody's all scared, wondering what I'm doing making this video. Just fucking talking about stuff. People are always so, like, standoffish and like, oh, what's this guy doing? Probably calling the cops on me or something. People are crazy, dude. People are scared, crazy people. A lot of people are. It depends. There's a very wide spectrum of different types of people. Like these guys, they don't know what the hell's going on. People. A lot of people don't think of stuff like this. A lot of people don't think at all, in my opinion. A lot of people just survive because other people have made it so easy for them to do so. You know, there's a lot to it all. There's a lot to it. And that's, to me, it's all... I don't know, man. I love thinking, and there's a lot of dynamics you can get into, but, you know, generally speaking, I feel like we can kind of, you know, go inward to try to figure out where it all came from. And I feel like it's a really interesting thing to do. Because at that point, you might say, hey, you know, this is all just part of a creator's plan? Are we just, you know, who set this all in motion? You know what I mean? Interesting. So I'm going to leave it at that. I thank you guys for listening. I'm out. Peace.